Christie
Ashley.
and Ashley. So I'm Beth and Ricky's daughter, as you might have seen my face around, and this is my husband Ashley. And we are mum and dad to little baby Noah, who again you've probably seen pop up on socials. And we just have a bit of an update really about his health, because mum and dad have mentioned a little bit that he's been in and out of hospital, and we just wanted to share quite an important milestone in our lives, a milestone for mum and dad, and they wanted us to just talk briefly about what that looks like and what that means.
Have a sit down chat.
So we've called you because we've got some news. You're gonna be an uncle! We are so excited.
Big hug.
Big hug. We're gonna have a baby! Yes, we're going to have a baby.
Yay!
It is Sunday, the 27th of October, and we are heading into the hospital because Christie's waters are broken and she's going to have a C-section today. Probably today, maybe tomorrow, because boy is breech.
Two weeks ago today, we were told that Noah has a condition called Aicardi-Goutières Syndrome, which is known as A.G.S for short, and it's a genetic condition that will affect his life. So we'll do like a bit of background as to how we got there, because you know, been in and out of hospital. So it started when Noah was 5 weeks old. He had what we believe was meningitis, so he was having seizures. He had a lumbar puncture and had a very high white count, and was started on antivirals. They ruled out bacterial meningitis, so he started on antivirals. But had some other symptoms, so his seizures, for example, but he never had a temperature, so and a few other symptoms just didn't quite fit. So we were having them explored to see if there was anything else going on in the background. And then March this year, he started having more symptoms, more seizures episodes, which meant that we were back in hospital again, and finally saw a paediatric neurologist who was a bit more concerned about Noah and his symptoms. He also had quite an obvious developmental delay, at 5 months old he wasn't holding his head or rolling really or interacting with the world, so he wouldn't really play with toys or reach out. He wasn't using his hands at all. And he was a bit more concerned, so we were fast-tracked for some tests, so some genetic tests, and some other bits and bobs, and the genetic tests are the ones that have come back and have shown that Noah has A.G.S. He has a really rare form of A.G.S. There's 2 types, and I won't go into the details too much of the different types, but basically it's a dominant gene which comes from Ashley, and unfortunately that does mean that Noah's life is going to be a lot different than what we thought and hoped for. What A.G.S. is essentially is the immune system's kicked into overdrive and it attacks the white matter in the brain, so you struggle to make the connections in the nerves, so your body doesn't do what you tell it to do, and that's why there's such a delay for Noah. And that kind of only gets worse over time, so a lot of it will be a case of watching to see how that affects him, to see where the damage is and what damage is done where. But yeah, he'll have physical and mental disabilities, and the most heartbreaking and hardest thing to hear is that Noah probably won't live past the age of 10 due to complications, which obviously was like the most heartbreaking thing you could hear about your child, especially at the moment, as he's 7 months old currently, so his care doesn't deviate that much from a typical baby. So yeah, it was a bit...
It's a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It is a lot.
Well, we wanted to share our story. Noah means a lot to Beth and Ricky.
Yeah, we're very, very close as a family. Maybe more close than some grandparents. Noah's a massive part of their lives and a massive part of ours, and we couldn't have got this far and stayed relatively sane without them. So I think it's important. We wanted to share, like Ashley said, and also that when we found out, it was obviously devastating, but it was also a massive relief, because for a long time we knew something was wrong, but we didn't quite know what, and we didn't know what to do, and that, I don't know if it was worse, but there's a lot of power in knowing what your future will look like. There's still so much we don't know, but we do know what is going on with Noah, and that has taken a lot of pressure off of us.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
And even though everyone was telling us, we're not doing anything wrong and it's not our fault, he's our first baby. We don't know what it's like to have babies, and I couldn't help personally but feel that we weren't doing enough, or there was something that we were doing wrong, which is why Noah wasn't developing. And like I said, we don't have any other kids to compare. So yes, every baby's different, they all develop at their own different rates, but going to baby groups, going and seeing other children, there was something different with Noah. And no one could really tell us why or what to do. So there's a lot of pressure off now that we know there is actually nothing really to do. We just need to love Noah and care for Noah and
celebrate his life.
100%, and celebrate any milestone that we get to, regardless of when we get there or how we get there. And that's taken just so much pressure off and given us a focus, whereas before we didn't really know what to look for, whereas now we know. And we just will celebrate, so every smile is golden, every interaction we have is delicious, and we just celebrate those. Rather than your stereotypical ones. Oh, baby. This way. Sorry.
There we go.
Noah's condition is very rare, and we believe that Noah's condition is very severe as well. However, there's a lot of unknowns still. When we found out, obviously, as everyone does, we go online, right? So we did a bit of Googling and found there wasn't actually much information about A.G.S. at all.
No.
So Christie did a bit of research.
Yeah, so I reached out to a few Facebook groups and joined, and the families there were fantastic. They were so open, shared their experiences, and we found a lot of comfort in that, and there's a lot of reassurance and guidance, and the data that is online is really outdated. Medicine's come along such a long way, and they're doing research even now into types of it's called leukodystrophies, which is a group of conditions that attack the white matter in your brain. There's research into those conditions constantly, so medicine is changing, and we found them really, really reassuring. So yeah, it gives us some hope and also some understanding of what the future's going to look like, because there's still so much, like Ashley said, that's so unknown. So what we wanted to do is share Noah's story, one, to be a resource for other families who your kids have been diagnosed with A.G.S, because we took such comfort from it, but also just to be approachable as well for any other families that are going through difficult times with their babies and being diagnosed with different conditions, because that limbo period was so tough.
Horrible.
And if we can help one family, then that would be amazing.
It feels so much better, doesn't it?
Definitely. And we'll document our little Noah's progression through the disease, and we just want to really give him the best that we can. And our normal is different. Our normal is going to be adjusted. And yeah, we just wanted to raise awareness of that, really.
So we are documenting Noah's story on Instagram. So it's Noah_AGS_story if you'd like to follow.
Again, this page is just to document the highs and lows, so the reality and the good times of Noah's progression. Again, for other parents with A.G.S, it's so unknown. There's so much variety of symptoms that the kids can have. So we just want to document Noah's. And again, if there's a parent out there that has similar to Noah that can relate and reach out, then that's amazing. That's what it's all for. I guess I just want to say we're still very new to the A.G.S community and family, and there's some amazing charities out there that have done some incredible work that we will be reaching out to, especially as Noah's condition progresses. And we just want to help build on this incredible community that's out there already. One of them literally said, "Welcome to the family," and that's exactly what it feels like. They are always there for support, for advice, for guidance, and sharing each other's stories and journeys has been incredible. There's been some similarities, there's been some differences, and they're all over the world. So there is support out there from other people, and we just wanted to put ourselves out there to be hopefully a support for another family.
Thank you for listening to our story. If you want to comment on the video, please do, and please message us on Instagram if you'd like some more information about A.G.S and Noah's story.
Yeah. It's tough, it's hard, it still doesn't really feel real. I don't want it to come across like everything's fine, because it's not fine. And there's moments where it's more fine than it is, and I think this is a way for us to channel this into something like meaningful, because it doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't really seem
fair.
Yeah, fair's harsh, because it's not like I would wish it on anybody else, but at the moment he's still just our little boy. It doesn't really make sense that it's gonna that he's gonna struggle as much as he is. So for us, this is a way, I think, to really live in the moment and to appreciate each day that he does smile and he does be Noah. Because it's gonna be tough, and for us this is a way to document it and appreciate it. And I think that's what I've struggled with as well, is that the reality is that he's not gonna crawl, he's not gonna have his first steps, he's not going to probably say his first words.
But we'll have our own first, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's all about celebrating that rather than focusing on what he's not doing or what he won't do, because that is really overwhelming and devastating, and we are still adjusting to a different future than we thought we would have. Yeah. And yeah, if Noah's going to have a limited time with us, then we want to make sure that that is the best time ever.
Yeah.
For us and for him, really.
Yeah.
Which is why we're in France. That's why we come to France. We booked it before we knew that there was anything different. But we were adamant we wanted to come and spend this time with family and with Mum and Dad, Beth and Ricky. Because Noah's a massive part of their lives and they're a massive part of ours. And so yeah, we wanted to share, we wanted to be open and honest as well. Because again, their future's going to look a little different. And yeah, we wanted to give a bit of context to that. And yeah, again, don't know what the next few years are going to bring or what it's going to look like. Yeah.
Hello, Mummy. Yeah.